Hi and welcome to day 11 of our 30 days of yoga challenge. Once again, thank you for joining me and well done for rolling out your mat again. We're going to be looking at a sequence to awaken our spines today. Socrates said, if you would seek health, look first to the spine. And this is a key, an important factor within our yoga practice, that we keep the spine healthy. And we do that in yoga by taking the spine through 6 different movements, which are your forward bends, your back bends, your sideways movements to both sides, and the twists to both sides. So these movements of the spine make up these 6 important movements to keep our spines healthy. So we're going to start with a seated spinal flex. So if you're just going to come to a comfortable cross-legged position, taking the hands onto the knees, and you're moving your spine with your breath. So the combination of the flexing, the forward movement. So you're breathing in here, and then you're breathing out as you're opening through the back body. Okay, so breathing in, so shoulders are relaxed, open through the chest, exhale, open through the back body. Doing this a handful more times. So we're just kind of working with the flexibility of the spine, keeps it healthy, keeps you feeling comfortable in your body, that fluidity, that flexibility of the spine, that natural flexibility that we lose, or we tend to lose, just from not kind of getting these movements in enough, but it's quick enough to come back. Okay, last time, and then coming back to center. We're going to come onto all fours, and we're going to move through some kind of fluid cobra, cat, child movements, a little kind of flow that we have done before in another of the days. So we're from all fours, and we're just keeping those elbows hugging in, lowering down, sliding through cobra, so you can keep it low, opening back through our kind of cat-cow position, opening, and then back to child, so you're keeping the hands in the same position, opening through the shoulders. Staying low to the floor if you can. You just kind of work your way through this movement as best you can. Okay, so think about being fluid. Think about opening the spine, especially with this movement. We're opening through the front of the body, kind of getting that back bend in, and then coming into a forward bend. Let's just do this one more time. Flowing through, elbows hugging in, through your cobra, and then pressing back to child's pose. Let's just take a moment here, and then from child's pose we're going to come forward onto our bellies, and we're going to have a look at Shalabhasana, which is locust pose. We'll look at the upper body first of all. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the hands under the shoulders. The hands are going to be placed under the shoulders, on the mat under the shoulders, and you're just going to lift up through the upper body. Okay, legs are touching the mat, feet are touching the mat, and just think about that strength through the low back. If for any reason, if this is not possible for you, if it's not good for your back, you can just kind of come into, actually maybe just into a sphinx. That could be your alternative, because it's still a nice back bend, but just taking the strength out. But if you're able, then let's stay with locust Shalabhasana, or Ardha Shalabhasana. This is half locust at the moment. Let's just take another breath. Okay, and then releasing down. You can just let those arms relax, maybe the head to one side. Feet flop open. So strength and flexibility of the spine with locust pose. Now we're going to look at the lower half of the body. So still your Ardha Shalabhasana, still half locust. There's lots of variations of this pose I'd like to point out. So this is just kind of one variation. We're going to have the hands by the sides, palms facing down, your chin maybe, or your forehead to the mat. And then we're just lifting both legs. Okay, so you're keeping the upper body connected. Just lifting both legs, so mine aren't moving very much at all, but it feels very strong, so it's very strong. You're strengthening the back body, back of the legs, hamstrings in particular, low back.
Might go a little higher. Again, if for any reason it's not possible to lift both, maybe just focus on lifting one at a time. Okay, take a couple of breaths one side and then the other side. Okay, if not, you're holding both and then just releasing down. And again, let those legs turn out so the feet flop open. Sorry, I'm getting my hair everywhere. You can take your gaze to the other side, so turn the head to the other side. Okay, and then coming back to center, and then the option to bring both movements in together. So as long as that's possible for you. Again, for any reason it's not possible, stay with one, the top end, the bottom end. If you feel okay to do together, then we'll do together. So we're lifting the upper body a little bit, we're lifting the legs a little bit, and you're just going to take a couple of breaths here. I'm going to give you some options for arm placement. So this will make it stronger, arms out ahead. So the possibility here, the possibility to the side. So you play with it, see what feels good. Maybe the hands clasped behind the back and coming up like this. Okay, so as strong as you can, breathing. You can feel that pressure into the belly. It's another one of those detox poses like bow pose when we looked at the other day. Okay, breathing and then releasing. So release the legs, release the arms, give the hips a little bit of a wiggle to release the low back. Okay, feet flop open, so releasing the hips. Okay, small movement, but quite a strong, intense movement. And then we're going to bring ourselves back. So we're going to go nice and slow, hands under the shoulders, nice and slow moving from that position, because even though it's a small movement, it's still quite strong. Tucking the toes, lifting up into downward facing dog, feel that beautiful stretch. Shoulders, spine, back of the legs, pressing through those heels. Just take a couple of breaths here, allow the jaw, the cheeks to relax. Okay, we're going to bring the feet to the hands. So step, step, or a little spring if you prefer. Take a moment again here just to enjoy the inversion, enjoy that release. And then we'll slowly roll up to standing. Okay, so at the top of the mat we're going to do one round of Surya Namaskar A. So just going to breathe the arms up, folding forwards on the exhalation, so hinging from the hips, hands to rest, breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing down. Stepping back with your right foot, going back to a lunge, coming back into plank. Maybe you've got the option to modify with the knees down. Keep those elbows hugging in, lowering down into your Sphinx, Cobra or upward facing dog. Just taking a moment here, keeping those elbows in, shoulders down, shoulders back. Taking a breath or two. Okay, and then tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Svanasana, and we're going to take a few breaths here. So just remembering to really lift up through the bottom and the hips, feel that stretch up the back of the legs, lengthening the spine. Nice wide spread of the fingers, and just bringing your awareness to your breath. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to take the right leg out behind, so three-legged dog, swinging through between the hands. Bringing the other leg to meet to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing, and then breathing the arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer at the heart center. Exactly the same, one more time to the left side. Breathing in, arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands to rest, breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing down. Stepping back with the left foot this time. Coming back to plank, remember your modified option with the knees down. Keep the elbows hugging in, lowering down through Sphinx Cobra, upward facing dog. Taking a moment here, just easing out through the low back. Tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. And we're just going to take a few breaths again here. So all those little adjustments, remembering to lift up through the bottom and the hips, pressing the chest, the belly back, towards the thighs. This gives you that extra length through the spine, remembering to keep the shoulders away from the ears and just pressing down, extending through the heels. Allow your jaw, your face to relax. Keep the awareness with the breath, and then taking the left leg out behind this time. Swinging through between the hands, so back into your lunge, both feet together to the top of the mat. Breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing, breathing the arms up. And then exhale, hands to prayer at the heart center. Okay, so we're going to turn to face front. We're going to bring the arms up overhead, so again, just going to stand a comfortable distance apart. You're going to interlace the hands overhead, so interlace the fingers, turn the palms away, and we're just going to sweep. Actually, let's bring the feet a little bit further apart. We're going to sweep around in a big circle, just going one way. So taking the whole body round in a big circle, all the way up, so you feel that through the side body, exactly the same to the other side. So really reaching up, exhale, all the way round, just sweeping in that big circle, and then taking the hands down. Okay, we're going to turn to the right side, so we're going to come into a high lunge. So this is different to warrior one in that we're keeping the heel off. So we're going to bend into your right leg. So as if we're setting up for Virabhadrasana 1, bending into the right leg, knee is just over the ankle, but your feet are facing in the same direction, but your back heel is off. So this is what makes it a high lunge rather than Virabhadrasana 1. You can have your hands to prayer at the heart center, or you can bring the arms up overhead. Okay, so you're all kind of turning towards your right side. Hands can be together. Gaze might be up. You might feel that you're opening up and maybe a little bit back. Be mindful of the low back though. Okay, just take another breath or two here. Just feel like a little bit like a balance. Okay, and then we're going to bring the hands back down through prayer at the heart center. We're going to shift the weight into that front foot. I'm going to step back a bit so I'm still in the screen. And you're going to bring this into Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. So the back foot is going to come off, and we're just going to hinge from the hips, and you're going to come down just to where it's comfortable for you to come to. So I'll come back a little bit. You might find you're just kind of folding forwards a little bit, so you're being mindful of your spine, of your low back in particular. The deepest you're going to come to is about parallel. Okay, we'll keep the hands in prayer for the time being. So strength through the standing leg, obviously working with a balance, a little bit of flexibility, and then just coming slowly back up. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same to the other side. So setting up with the left foot forward into our high lunge. So bending into that front foot, into the front leg. Back heel is off, so keep that heel off. Remember, we're not overshooting the ankle, so you've just got the knee directly over the ankle here. Find your balance within the pose, so maybe hands to prayer, maybe arms overhead, hands interlaced or separate apart. Maybe gaze up, and maybe thinking about opening up and slightly back, so it's becoming a little bit of a back bend. Breathing, so taking a couple more breaths here. Okay, sinking into it a little bit deeper. Nice and grounded through the feet here, strong through the legs. And then we're going to bring those hands down, back down to the heart center, shifting the weight again into that front foot. So we're going to move through into our warrior 3 again. Yeah, I'll come back a little bit. And you're just hinging from the hips. So you're thinking about, or just being mindful of your low back. So you're not going too deep if it's causing any discomfort in your low back. The deepest you're going to go is about parallel. Okay, keeping both hips level if you can. Softening the toes, so we're nice and grounded, strong through the standing leg. And breathing. So finding your focus, finding your drishti. Okay, and then bringing yourself slowly back up. And we're just going to come through a vinyasa. So we're going to bring our hands to the floor, step back to plank, lower yourselves down. Maybe your modified options, elbows hugging in, coming down through cobra, moving back through downward facing dog. Again, we'll just take a breath or two here. lifting up through the bottom and the hips. And then we're going to take the knees down and we're going to come back a couple of breaths into child's pose. So untuck the toes, bottom towards the heels. You can make it wider if it's more comfortable. So take the knees apart. Arms can be outstretched, or you can have the head resting onto the hands. And just take a couple of breaths. So releasing the low back, sinking into those hips. Okay, and then coming slowly up to sitting, and we're just going to come to face front, so comfortable seated position, so cross-legged if you wish, half lotus, lotus, whichever's comfortable for you. We're just going to close with a twist, so we're just a gentle seated twist. We'll take one hand behind, take that other hand onto the opposite knee or the back of the hand over, lifting up through the heart center, so not sinking into it. So a nice tall spine, and then the gaze towards the back shoulder. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths here, so working that twist into our sequence. We move the spine through all 6 directions. And then coming slowly back to center. The same to the other side. So if you did cross the legs, think about changing the cross of the legs, just for balance. Exactly the same, one hand behind, one hand across on the knee or the back of the hand. Just takes you a little bit deeper, lifting up and out of the waist, so lifting up through the chest. And then your gaze towards the back shoulder. And you're breathing as fully and deeply as you can here. Shoulders are relaxed. Just easing out any holding through the spine. And then slowly turning back to center. So again, well done. Thank you for joining me today. And we're just going to close our practice. We'll just bring our hands together in prayer at the heart center. Namaste. I'll see you again tomorrow.